Hello and welcome to Too Fast, Too Forever. There's all kinds of family. We chose this one. This is episode 331, Hobbs Shaw, lap 13. I'm Joey Lewandowski.
I'm Joe too, and this episode is brought to you by Shaw X Manufacturing. Shaw X Manufacturing is a family-owned and operated company with over 4 decades of experience in the earth-moving industry, so we know how it works and what you need. Shout out to Shaw X.
Well, shout out to Shaw X and welcome to Too Fast, Too Forever. With us tonight to talk about Hobbs and I was going to call it Shaw and Hobbs because the sponsor.
It worked.
Tonight it's Shaw and Hobbs. No, it's not. I'm not going to. That feels so awkward to say.
Terrible mouthfeel.
Ugh. Anyway, with us today to talk about Hobbs and Shaw, returning guest. You know where you love her. I think it was this guest who, in like lap 3 or 4, very early on, gave us a theory about like Mia's baby versus this baby.
We've been riding this for a while. We pitched
there's been other theories that we've carried, but this is one of the early ones. We're just like, whoa, this is probably true. Furious 7 paving the way. If you're diehards know her, she's got a new show, Bravo Replay, out now every Tuesday.
That's correct.
Cool. With us today once again is Kate Hudson. Hello, Kate.
Guys, I'm so glad to be back.
Thank you so much for joining us to talk about Hobbs and Shaw. Here's a kickoff question. Would you say Hobbs and Shaw is the most reality TV show of any of the Fast and Furious movies?
Good question.
No.
Oh.
Not at all.
Which one do you think is?
Oh, okay.
And can you also compare, I won't be able to know if you're telling the truth or lying. Can you compare Hobbs and Shaw to your favorite housewives?
I absolutely can do that. So I think Fate of the Furious is the most reality show because we've got the dead baby mama. We've got...
Okay, yeah, fair.
Right, we have a mid-cast exit. That's where they first really lay the groundwork to go to space. So like a ridiculous storyline. I mean, it's not the strongest.
I would like to make an argument, though, Kate, that in Fast 10, there's a part of it that is the most reality-based part, which is just that they show you everything that has happened up until that point. And then, because the recaps are a big part of a lot of the reality that I watch.
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, you have to tell me what's your reality. Just give me one reality.
Oh, what are we on right now? We've been watching The Golden Bachelor. Oh. We've been watching the new 90 Day is Good.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I mean, that's not really trashy enough for me. 90 Days good, but
no. I want Creepy Sisters back. I'm with you. I like the real trash. Creepy Sisters, Creepy Moms.
Yeah,
all those like TLC ones.
Like Creepy Sister Moms. Like, come on.
Yeah, that's like top tier for me too. But I don't think they've had any new ones. We're like all caught up. So.
Oh well, I mean, I revisit Rock of Love season 3 on the bus. Probably every other year. It is. You can never top that as far as reality shows go.
Rock of Love was great.
God, it was so good. But to go back to the original question.
Yes.
Hobbs and Shaw have a real sort of frenemy banter, which is essentially all of the housewives. So right. So like if I had to pick one that your general listener would know, I'm going to say Bethany Frankel.
Yeah, I know her.
Right? Everyone knows Bethany. She's a smart ass. She's a quick talker. She's all talk, though, so that's Hobbs because, Hobbs doesn't do much anymore. And then for Shaw, it's someone who is a little darker. You know what? It's going to be somebody with a little bit more of an edge. So I'm going to pick another really, really famous. I'm going to go with Lisa Vanderpump from Real Housewives of Beverly Hills.
VPR.
That's a good one.
Right?
Yeah.
And they're both English. They both have that sharp tongue. And they both have shady pasts that you don't really know about.
Okay, yeah.
Honestly,
that's a good joke.
Spot on.
I know my housewives.
Yes.
I would hope it would be so weird if you were hosting a Bravo show and you didn't know like I don't really mess with the housewives when I do have a Bravo show. It's like, well, I guess you could, but it feels like that's kind of necessary appointment viewing.
Oh God, yeah. Wait, what's your Bravo show?
Me? I don't have one.
Oh, I thought you said you had a Bravo show.
No, I'm saying you have a Bravo show. You're literally hosting a Bravo show.
Oh, I do. I thought you were going to say, well, Housewives isn't, but Below Deck is mine. And I was about to.
Is your top get for the show Andy Cohen?
No.
Is he like god tier of like guest?
Well, no, you guys know me, so I never go for the obvious pick. I never go for the one like the A-list, right? Like I want the friend of like one hit wonder season, like one and done. So for me, I'd love to get like Laura Lee from Vanderpump Rules, who got broken up with outside an AA meeting and then left and returned. Like that's someone who I would want to talk to.
That's awesome. Yeah, that would make a ton of sense. Like some bus boy in the back of Vanderpump Rules.
Oh God, yeah, that's the dream.
Right.
I will say, and this is going to sound like a cop-out excuse, is that like I don't watch Bravo shows because I've seen them before, and I get sucked in a way that annoys me. And also, I have so much to watch already that I'm just like, because I can't half watch something. If I'm watching something, I'm watching something. And I know that, like, to a certain extent, a lot of these shows are designed to, like, have on while doing other stuff, like folding laundry or just, working or whatever. But my brain doesn't work like that. And so if I'm watching, I'm like, I don't want to be watching this. And it's the same, like, I will put in the same bucket as anime for me. Like, I'm sure I would enjoy a lot of both. I don't have the bandwidth. I can't do either.
And also, there's 70 million hours of all of them. Yeah.
Well,
my friend Lily watches a bunch of shows, and she also listens to, sorry, Kate, a different Bravo podcast. But they put out, like, no joke, 16 episodes of the podcast per week. Like their recaps of each episode have now become 2 episodes of the podcast. So if there's like 8 episodes they're covering of TV, they're putting out 16 episodes a week about that.
Insane.
Plus bonus episodes.
Who has that? So we are a trivia podcast because frankly, there's a lot of recap podcasts out there, but 2, it's when you do have this much lore, if you will, that it's fun to go revisit it. It's fun to go back to 10 years ago when people had worse eyebrows and less money. It's fun.
It is, yeah. It definitely is.
So, Kate, you've not been on the show in a while. There's been a couple of movies that have come out since you were on the show. Do you have revised Fast and Furious rankings? Because let me see, when you were last on rankings, Kate Hudson.
Stopped at 8. That's my guess.
We had through Hobbs and Shaw, so we don't have 9 and we don't have 10.
Yeah.
Okay.
So can you please hit us with your rankings, your new rankings, either from top down or bottom up? Because last time, if you'll remember, you had a tie at number 1.
Did I say 5 and 7 for number 1?
You had 5 and 7 at number 1.
It hasn't changed. Like
okay.
I this is sacrilege, but I'm sure you guys kind of agree. The new ones aren't that good, to be honest.
They're different.
It's I don't understand how we went from a street gang stealing DVD players in number 1 to now we're in space. There's It's a soap opera, right? It's a soap opera. So I'm gonna put 10 at last, 9 at second to last. I haven't had enough time to watch them hungover on my couch yet. They haven't gone into the rotation.
Sure.
I know you guys love Tokyo Drift, but that's gonna be my third last. That guy is. I just don't like his stupid hair.
We know you have issues with Sean. It's okay. It's long established on this podcast.
I really do. Okay. And then from there, we're going to go with, I don't like 8 as much either. So I'm going to rank 8 fourth last. Then we're going to go for 5th last. Let's go with number 4 because there's not much going on.
Okay.
Then 6th last, or I guess now we're...
6th last is in the middle. You're in the hardly order right now.
Yeah, that's number 6. Because it's cool when you crush the tank.
Okay.
We have the other Shaw brother. Then we're going to go with 2. I love it. The We Hungry is great, but there's just more going on. Then I'm going to go 1 because you got to give respect to the OG. Then I go 3.
Wait, you have 3. You have 3 low, not 3.
Oh, sorry. I'm at my third last one. So then I'm on...
The third last, 4? Counting from the bottom up.
Yeah, this is so complicated. I
was following. It's okay.
I love that. Okay, so then it's going to be 4. Then
you already had 4.
You already had 4. The only one you're missing is Hobbs and Shaw.
Oh, Hobbs. Oh, I don't like that one that much. Put that back. Put that, you know what? It's better than 3.
Okay.
And then I'm still tied for 5 and 7. If you guys put a gun to my head, even though there are no guns allowed now in the Fast and Furious franchise, I would put 5 slightly above 7, but it's not mathematically significant.
So here's the rankings as I interpreted your brain, and let's see if this is right or not. So from the top down, we have 5 and 7.
Yes.
Then 1.
Yes.
Then 2.
Yes.
Then 6.
Yep.
Then 4.
Yep.
Then 8.
Yep.
Then Hobbs.
Yep.
Then Tokyo Drift.
Yep.
F9, Fast 10.
Yeah.
Okay. That works.
I haven't had time to fall in love with the new babies yet, especially when there's 8 other movies I already know I love better.
And also so much Bravo to watch.
So much. You guys, that doesn't even account for the fact that every night I fall asleep to a Law and Order rerun on my couch.
I do love Law and Order. SVU mainly.
Yep.
For me.
Yep.
But Kate, have you seen that Pluto has like the old CSI channels segregated too?
Don't say segregated.
What I mean, I didn't mean it in a bad. They're literally like, there's Miami, there's regular, there's New York. Like, you can pick which one, and Pluto will just like run all the episodes. So like, we often cut in some CSI at night as well.
I love that. I fall asleep every night to it. I call it first sleep, and then I wake up around 1, and then I go to my real bed, and then I call that second sleep.
Are you a hobbit?
I kind of am, actually. And I have my 11sies, and then I go to second sleep.
So now, Kate, this entire lap, there's a couple different things we're doing. One of the things that we're doing is we recently discovered a feature on IMDb called Crazy Credits. Are you familiar with Crazy Credits?
You guys just discovered that?
Well, yes.
Yes. Okay. Short answer, yes.
Because when I was a little turd in 1997, my friends and I would add fake crazy credits to crazy credits.
Oh, Kate, you are like our dream guest.
Yeah, like we used to, I still remember we would add fake quotes to Titanic when it came out. I remember we added shit, it's an iceberg. Some dork at some point took them all down, but yeah.
So there are 3 crazy credits for Hobbs and Shaw.
Okay.
I will break it to you. They're not crazy. They're exactly what you think it's going to be. So the first crazy credit, 2, the number 2, not spelled out TWO. So this is not following AP style. You don't start a sentence with the number. You start with the letters. Yeah. 2 mid-credit scenes with Ryan Reynolds and 1 post-credit scene with Hobbs getting his own back on Shaw for his airport stop and search.
Oh, yeah.
85 up, 1 down. Overwhelmingly, people are like, that's a crazy credit.
That's the other undertow of this, Kate, is that it's just describing the credits and everybody fucking loves it.
No other thing in existence that you can get 85 of 86 people to agree on other than this is crazy a crazy credit.
Yeah.
It's people who know about crazy credits and don't value their time enough to go vote on crazy credits. Agree.
Number 2. There is an end credit scene in addition. So this is like building off the previous crazy credit. Okay. There is an end credit scene in addition to the 2 mid-credit scenes. The end credit scene involves Ryan Reynolds' character talking to Hobbs on phone, and the scene is the follow-up of the first mid-credit scene. 24 up, 0 down.
Did Ryan Reynolds write these crazy credits?
Honestly, maybe. Whoever wrote these doesn't have, has good English, but not good grammar. So, I don't know.
Canadian.
The third and final crazy credit. Dialogue continues under the first part of the closing credits. 50 up, 3 down.
Well, that one kind of sucked. I see why 3 people hated it.
Seems like the most... not the craziest credit, but the thing that's most worthy of calling out in this section on IMDb.
I was just making a joke because none of these make any fucking sense.
I know. I agree. But I'm just trying, I don't know, man.
This is my new hobby now. I'm going to go into all the crazy credits of a movie and just downvote them.
Oh, Kate, you're my hero. I love when you say stuff like this. That's incredible. Every movie you watch, you just say like, oh yeah, crazy credits. Let me just go downvote all of these.
Just be a fucking hater.
Joe in the last month is like, I hope you're either upvoting or downvoting these. I'm like, dude, I can't. I'm trying to be impartial for science. I can't meddle with the crazy credits here, but you can, Kate.
I'm going to somehow get a list of all the movies you guys are going to do and just go in and downvote them.
Yeah. Do it.
Or go in and add crazy credits beforehand and we'll read them on the episode.
Well, that's the thing,
Joey and Joe suck.
How this Maid started dealing with that, because a movie that was so obviously widespread, so bad it's good would come out, like a movie like The Book of Henry or whatever, that people would write reviews, or they would know before a live tour how this get made, would announce all the movies they're doing on the tour, and people would go write crazy reviews for the things. We can't write these. We can't read these because you're ruining. That's not the part of the game. You know what I mean? But
yeah, you need to keep it honest.
But Kate, if you do it, we'll read it.
Well, here's the problem, guys, and I speak from firsthand experience. IMDb is no longer the Wild West. you can't just put stuff on there and expect them to keep it up, unfortunately.
Mr. West Hampton agrees.
So here is a thing that was emailed into us, Kate. I want to start the conversation like this, because this is the way that I watch it. You don't know this unless you listen to the episode that just came out yesterday, which I'm assuming you didn't. But you know, if you did, maybe you're the super fan. Maybe you're the super fan that we have always wanted. We had a new listener, a new patron, Randy Carter, emailed in a very long email. He had a lot of theories about a lot of different things, and part of the email, if you'll remember, Joe, was his chronological cut of all the movies.
Yes, he did. He laid it out by minute for us. It was awesome.
And Kate, not just like, oh, watch 3 after 6, right? But it was like literally scene by scene, like taking like the flashbacks out of 9, putting them in the beginning of the thing, and like really doing everything from start to finish.
All the work. He did all the work. Yeah.
It was beautiful. But not included, he made a note to mention, not included is Hobbs and Shaw, because he doesn't know. Number one, they basically like sidearmed this. Like they're just like, hey, this is not exactly, you know, who knows? They don't really reference this. It doesn't reference the other movies, whatever. But he also said that like, we don't know when it takes place. It might take place in the future. And so I was thinking about it and again, like it doesn't really truly change the way that you watch the movie, but it 13 times in or whatever, however many times we talked about this movie in particular, it changed the way that I thought about like, what if this was set in the future? Like, what if the reason Hattie is not crossed over or whatever is because she doesn't exist, like she's like 12, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know. And I just thought like, as someone who has changed our minds, changed the way that we think about the show, about like the franchise and the lore and the babies and whatever, would your viewing of this movie be different, Kate, if this was set, say, 10 years in the future, like after whenever 11 comes out or whatever the final movie is going to be called? If this movie is like 10 years after that, like, would that change the way you think about this, view this, understand what happens in this movie?
No, but because I'm an asshole, here's where my mind went. That this takes place in the future and everyone else is dead because Vin Diesel became a family annihilator and killed his entire family.
Okay.
Right?
He like drowned them all in the bathtub or something?
Or he sent them into space or like left them... right?
He shoots them into space.
Yeah.
Okay, I like that.
So what if it's not that they're not there, it's that they can't be there. And now Hobbs and Shaw is just a movie of Hobbs and Shaw's trauma while Shaw still has a family and Hobbs is coming to terms with the fact that his adopted family is no more except for his daughter.
It's just trauma bonding.
Yeah.
I like that. I do like that.
I mean, I guess realistically it can't take place too far in the future because we know that Samantha Hobbs is not really aged, right? But like...
Unless this is his second daughter that he named after
another daughter named Samantha.
That he
Etion cloned her.
Yeah.
Gave her a second one.
Yeah, because his other daughter, you know...
was murdered by Vin Diesel.
Exactly. Mm-hmm. And maybe that okay, guys, what if that's why Vin Diesel and The Rock are no longer like cool with each other because The Rock became a method actor and he knew that this is how the Fast and the Furious franchise will end.
Oh, and so he hates Vin not because Vin like, you know, was a diva on set, but he's like, you are one day going to murder all the other characters in this movie. I'm going to preemptively hate you in real life. Yeah,
because we know The Rock takes his acting seriously.
Oh, for sure.
I think, Kate, that you've laid out more of the storyline than Fast and the Furious ever has in the future.
Yeah. You heard it here first, folks, for next time when the final movie comes out.
Because like
when 11 comes out and Vin Diesel kills everyone, we are going to lose our fucking minds.
And they're also like, you know what? That baby, it was meant to be Mia's baby. You're like, oh my God, Kate.
Kate was right the whole time.
Both those things.
Because like a lot of the action in this movie... So like I think one knock, understandably so, that a lot of people have against this movie is that it kind of feels sort of, it doesn't really feel like a Fast and Furious movie, it kind of feels like a generic action movie.
Yes.
And I think a lot of that is because it's like the sort of type of futuristic action we see in a lot of movies, but it feels also so different from the Fast and Furious action that it kind of makes sense to set it in the future, sort of.
Well, and don't forget that Idris Elba is like some bionic man.
That was the main thing that I was like, yeah, this makes sense for me, Kate, because it's like, yeah, he's a fucking half cyborg. So
yeah, we don't have those yet. It's not 2030 yet.
Yeah, 2030 would be dead on, and then Fast and Furious would call it like 2045, and then they would just pretend like the timeline made sense and keep going with it.
To bring this back to the original point, though, I really would like this person who laid this all out to then supercut the movie together.
I said the same thing.
Right? Like, come on, man. Put your money where your mouth is.
I think he did it. He just hasn't shared with us.
Oh, well, come on. Stop holding out.
I know.
I begged one of our listeners to do it for us so that, or if not, I'm begging now. One of our listeners, please put it all together for us and give us a 30-hour
and then get it on IMDb so we can list some crazy credits and downvote them.
Ooh,
the Carter cut. I do have to say, I have to give Kate, I'm giving you so much credit. Like, you as a podcaster now, you are like bringing things back to the original point in a way that, like, if you listen to Twilight Forever, like to hear that Kate Hudson and like this, it's a totally different you are a podcasting pro right now. I am so proud of you. I'm
sober right now.
Oh, that's all it is.
That sucks. I'm sorry. Why?
It's listen, you guys didn't give me enough notice so I could get
no drink November. What was that?
No, I trust me, I'm not doing that. I just didn't have enough notice to get drunk.
Gotcha.
Oh, okay. Fair enough. Thank you.
Good.
So thank you for the compliment.
So Kate, Hobbs and Shaw, favorite moments, least favorite moments. I know that when we asked you to do this movie, you told me something that you hate about this movie that I'm like, don't worry, you're not alone. But wherever you want to start, favorite moments, least favorite moments, scenes, action, characters, anything you want to go, where do you want to begin with Hobbs and Shaw?
I want to go to the best part, which is when they get to Samoa. That is by far
Samoa.
Sorry, yes, that. It is. I find this movie a slog. I don't revisit it as much. You can tell by my rankings; it's pretty low. But once they get there, it becomes a real action movie.
Mm-hmm.
And I love that. I love that final fight. I love that we have more than just Hobbs and Shaw and their forced banter.
That's funny that you bring that up because I was watching it this time, and as I was watching it, I was like, I think this movie. I mean, we talk about it a lot, so I hate to harp on it again, but this movie benefits greatly from having a more limited cast than the Fast and the Furious does.
Oh, yeah.
In a way that I noticed this time more than I have because we watched 10 so much. Like, 10 has just come out. And, like, just, as you said, like, there's a lot of, like, forced dialogue between Hobbs and Shaw. The, like, focus in on just having Hobbs and Shaw and Vanessa Kirby and then pretty much everyone else as an auxiliary character works really, really well for me.
Oh, I agree with that. I think that the problem is and I brought this up before, it's once Paul Walker died, then you just had a bunch of divas who wouldn't take a punch and were counting the punches and making sure they always looked like manly action heroes. And I really feel the franchise takes a hit at that. And I think you see that a lot in Hobbs and Shaw, that, you know, Shaw decided, well, I don't want to be the murderer anymore. I want to be the good guy. So now I have to always be the good guy and only do good guy things. And you just like these men are afraid to be morally gray characters and they're terrified we won't like them as a result.
That's a really good point. I like that Brixton comes in and they're like, who are you? And he's just like, bad guy. Like, It doesn't even fucking matter. I'm just in this movie. I am the bad guy. I'm announcing it to the audience. There you go. I'm the villain. Fight me.
And like, but don't they? Yeah, but then like he even goes a little soft towards the end too. It's like, oh, but is he the bad guy? Because the thing about this franchise is that now it never wants to paint itself into a corner with a Shaw again, right? Where we start with the Shaws are the bad guys, then we all like them, and now they have to be good. And it's the same thing with killing off Giselle, with killing off Han. They always want that back door to look.
They're still doing it with Jacob and everybody else too.
Yeah, but that's the point. It's like, let people stay dead and let bad people be bad people.
Yeah, let bad people be bad people.
Like, you guys know my favorite movie is Con Air, and they don't ever try to like redeem Cyrus the Virus at the end. They kill him 3 times in successively more ridiculous ways.
Well, so I think I've been reading a lot of things. We've talked about both of these books. I'm going to sort of vaguely allude to, but we read Full Throttle Franchise. We had the authors on. It's like a book of academic essays about Fast and Furious.
I love that.
And then I'm almost done with Walt Hickey's book, You Are What You Watch, which is all about the way that movies and TV impact us. And both have really like kind of concretely put into my thoughts like the way that people change movies and like the way that movies are made now, and like it's I don't want to say it's just objectively worse now, but like there's so much of the financials taken into consideration here in a way that they never used to be. And like it's just refreshing. Like we Joe, we talked about it in Taking a Pelham, right, where it was like in old movies, like they just killed characters. Just like, no, like
because they're not planning for franchises.
About a sequel.
Exactly.
Bad guy's gonna die here because like it'd be cool if a bad guy died here. And there's something really exciting about the idea of like anybody could die at any time because like this is a movie that stands on its own, as opposed to this where it's like, well, Ludacris's agent will never let him sign onto a movie where he's going to get killed off because he's going to lose out on residuals, so you can't kill him off. It's like, well, there's no reason for him to be around anymore because now we have Ramsey.
Bring back Ja Rule just to kill him off. Get him back in one scene and then just blow him up.
Blow him up. You don't want him explode. You don't even want him dead. You're like, Fire Festival was a bridge too far, Ja Rule. Explosion.
Wouldn't that be amazing? He comes back as if he's been there the whole time, and then he just...
How about this? The cast, the whole family goes to Fire Festival. It is a clusterfuck, and then Vin Diesel, that's when he snaps and starts killing him, killing all of them, starting with Ja Rule.
Race Wars crossover.
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah.
In my head, that's exactly what I was thinking. It's just like Fire Festival is just race wars. It's in the desert. There's no food. It's the same thing.
I love this, you guys. Like, yeah, yes, and then let us end with like a shot of Vin Diesel going to jail, and then he blows up. So then we know the franchise is over. Let things end.
Well, in terms of that, like we've talked about it here, I'm sure. It's really funny to me how at the end of this movie, Brixton just falls into the ocean.
Yeah. Cypher fell out of a plane, and she's back. Brixton's not gone.
He's not gone.
If they don't want him to be.
Decommission him, and he just falls off the cliff into the water, and just like, okay. Like, he's not dead.
Also,
like,
Kate's cloned daughter part, that like idea, we could just remake a Brixton, right?
Yeah.
Like, if he's half cyborg, they could just build another one. Doesn't really matter. Because
they've definitely scanned his consciousness, right? Like, that's in the cloud somewhere.
But he's also
I would think so.
Like a cyborg. Do cyborgs need to breathe? Can he breathe underwater? Does he have gills?
Do androids dream of electric sheep?
I don't know, Philip K. Dick. You tell me.
I don't know.
What else do you love about
Joey's face was so good.
I was just like, where do I want to get back to? But okay, so talk about more Samoa. So like, is it like the action that you love there? Is it just the setting? Is it the scenery? Is it that feels different? Is it the Mom Hobbs? Like what specifically about Samoa do you love the most?
I think it's just it kind of goes back to what you guys were talking about. It's like a one act play. It's a very limited location in the sense that it's not going to be sprawling London. It's Samoa, right? It's the action is great. Like the action is the first time it felt real and not completely overly choreographed. And I also really love Cliff Curtis. Like Jonah Hobbs, I love him.
He's really good. I like him actually, and I was watching it this time and I was like, I think Roman Reigns does a pretty good job here too. I really like him just being like a backside character. It's kind of cool. I'm with you. I like all the Samoans. Like I just think they're just like an awesome crew. Like they look awesome. They feel like they just feel authentic in a weird way. I really like it. Yeah,
I agree. And it's like it's something new, right? It was just something completely new that the franchise hasn't had before. I always like it when in the original Fast and Furious, they go to Cuba, they go to Dominican Republic, they go to South America. I think it's interesting when they go to a new culture and try to engage, and they brought that sensibility to Hobbs and Shaw, and I think it really worked here.
I think so too. Like I think one thing this movie does really well is like the kind of the color tinting. Like the London stuff is really so gray, and the LA is like so like sunny and colorful. Like especially like in the opening split screen where it's like Hobbs and Shaw getting ready for their day, like the colors are really popping there. Yeah. And then so much of the movie is like industrial and machine, and then you get a Samoa where like they have literally removed the technology and they replace the guns with sticks and stuff, you know what I mean? And like so much of it is just like natural colors and natural, and it's all like hyper saturated for the movie, but like it just looks and feels so different that it's not just the culture, but I think you're spot on there, Kate. It's just like the way that they're capturing it is just like, this is a new place.
Yeah. And I do. So what I appreciate about the sticks and, the lack of like high tech technology in that fight is that it makes the diva-nish of, the actors, them and The Rock work, because now it's rudimentary. So now it makes sense that they're in these situations and that they're fighting like that. I really have a hard time with this movie because if this were made 20 years ago, they'd be taking punches to the faces, right? Like they would have a fight like in They Live that went on way too long while they got all their dude aggression out and then finally had a begrudging respect for each other. But because they're divas in real life and because movies have kind of suck now, we don't get that.
We've talked about how, we want like the led Fast and the Furious with like Vanessa Kirby and all the ladies and like how cool that would be. I changed my mind. I want something else.
What do you want?
I want a Marvel-esque spin-off miniseries backstory of just Madam M's crew. That just fills in like a huge gap of like what these 4 badass women are 5. I think there's maybe 4 or 5. I don't know. But like what they actually just do. Like they're so mysterious right now, but just give me like 6 to 7, 10 episodes, 20 minutes of just like one storyline, 40 minutes maybe, and just like show me what they're up to.
Like you want like a one shot. Like you just want like for each though.
No. I want it to be a cohesive, like I want them to be like girl Avenger, whatever, girl team power, and just give us them to just fully remove it from Fast and Furious, and then you can like that would be like the lead up to the women Fast and the Furious movie. I think that would be a really
because like
cool
there's the scene where they're in Shaw's lair, right?
Yeah.
His like underground thing, which I was also wondering like who keeps that clean? Like who keeps that dusted? Like because like
he has a Roomba.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, okay, but like the liquor bottles aren't cleaned by the room. But like, do you think he hires like? Because he's not clean. He's not dusting the bottles.
Look at that man's clothes.
No, he's definitely. Did you watch him cook breakfast? He's dusting.
Yeah, he is. He's like
dusting. That's a huge room.
He sprinkled chives on his omelet, Joey.
Look,
that's not a man that does not dust.
Fastidious. He's not attention to detail. I'm just saying he has time to keep that entire place immaculate.
If David Beckham can clean his entire estate, then Deckard Shaw can too.
Well, David Beckham is also like an OCD neat freak.
So is Deckard Shaw. Look at that man's like suit and the way like his close shave and
his car, everything about him is detail oriented.
You can't be from a family of thieves and not be super type A and detail orientated.
Asked and answered. Thank you. But in
welcome.
that scene, we see on the computer screens, like we see like a picture of Madam M, and then we see another picture that's like her, like all of her, not goons, but like her entire team in one picture together. It's like, yeah, let's explore that. Like when we get to that minute, Joe, in like 21, 22 or whatever year we're going to get to that minute.
2075. Yeah.
Let's really like, I'm not going to look at the screen until then, but I want to find out like what's on that screen, who those people are.
No, but can you imagine like how cool I want a Fast and Furious thing. Like Hobbs and Shaw didn't. So my main point of this is that Hobbs and Shaw, I don't even think. A lot of people complain that it's not a Fast and Furious movie, but I don't think it's separated itself enough to be a Fast and Furious Presents. Like, I think if you went like with like a mini series about Madam M's crew, that would truly be a Fast and Furious Presents, like the Madam M saga. Okay. You get what I'm saying?
I mean,
well, do you think that like presenting Hobbs and Shaw is like the transition to be like you kind of know these people until like you really don't know these people?
Yeah, you really don't know these people, and they just like pop up, and then you can reintegrate them into the movie, and you'd be fucking stoked.
Fast and Furious Presents
it doesn't
Leo
matter.
And Santo.
Exactly. Mm-hmm. Yeah, like that. Like I want no, but even though they're like in the Fast and Furious, like Madam M's not in the main franchise at all, right? You know what I mean? Right. So like. Well, because that's how Marvel does it. You'd be like, oh, you get like Moon Knight or whatever, and you're like, who the fuck was that? They're not in any movies, and like all of a sudden it's like, okay, cool.
So Kate, this is a very Bravo thing, a very reality show. Like, if you want to have like a spin-off of your own, who do you want to see Fast and Furious present? Which characters that exist in any of these movies do you want to see get their own? Like Joe wants Madam M's, women. Who do you want to see in any of the movies? It doesn't have to be this movie. Who do you want to see Fast and Furious present a story about?
Okay, I always forget their names, but it's the two knuckleheads from the Dominican Republic.
Leo and Santo?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
But I need to put a huge asterisk next to all of this. I only want to watch it if it's like really violent and horny. And we're not talking PG-13. So I'm so sick of how sanitized the franchise has gotten. So now I want tits and ass.
I was thinking, like, I wanted to see the Madam M one, and I wanted it to be really dark, Kate. Like, really dark. Like, them, like, coming to grips with their like trauma, like their like backstory, like their twisted childhoods and like kidnappings. Like I want to see like all kinds of like really weird shit come out of this, and then they'd be like, okay, now they show up in the Fast and Furious, and it's like we have to go save the world again.
Yeah,
and you're like, oh, that feels weird, but like it would work in my head at least.
I agree. A gratuitous nudity too. Like seriously, I'm so sick of how sanitized all these like shows are. Give us horniness again.
So okay, here's
America horny again.
Here's another question that I had that it's the closest we're gonna get to a transition to this. The end of this movie, we've talked about it a lot. We've kind of made fun of it a lot. Where you could be my mini me, whatever. Like they're on the cliffside as the credits roll. Like in the crazy credit we just talked about, right? There's dialogue under the crazy credits.
Mm-hmm.
But right before that, Hattie puts one arm around her brother and one arm around her new lover, and it's just like, let's go home. And I'm like, this is so awkward. But I was wondering,
you got there from horny? Okay.
Well, no, 'cause here's the thing.
I
was wondering which awkward love triangle is more awkward. This is the same thing. It's the love/sibling love triangle. It's not a love triangle,
yes.
But it's like, it's the Hattie, Hobbs, Shaw thing, and the Mia, Brian, Dom thing. Where remember, Mia announces she's pregnant to both the father of her baby and her brother in the same moment.
No, her daddy brother, not just her brother.
Her daddy brother.
I think the Dom, Mia, Brian one is more cringe only because we've definitely like shipped Dom and Brian before. You know what I mean?
Oh,
like,
you think that people aren't shipping Hobbs and Shaw?
Oh, they definitely.
No, I think that they are, but I'm saying
in prison. I mean, come on.
They definitely, come on.
No, but I think that like there's a lot more history of creepiness between like you brought up, the announce the baby together and things like that. Like there's definitely a super dark cut where like Brian and Dom are in a love triangle with Mia.
So I disagree here.
Like they're not like Dom and Mia aren't having a physical relationship, but like Brian and Dom are, Brian and Mia are, and they're like at odds.
Well, like I do think that Dom has an unhealthy emotional relationship with just about every character we see in any of these movies.
Literally,
probably, yeah,
literally.
But Kate, yeah, what's your disagreement? Let's hear it.
So I'm gonna say I disagree with the entire premise that Dom, the Dom Brian Mia is creepier than the Hattie Hobbs Shaw, because I don't know if you guys have talked about this, but the math never mathed on the age difference between Hattie and Deckard. Like it just never made sense.
Correct.
Because they're like 20 years apart. So I think once you added,
but in the early scenes, they're like 2 years apart at max.
It's exactly. So there's something in the milk ain't clean there. So just based on the age difference between those three players.
Also, Kate, you're onto something, because in the Fast and the Furious, Helen Mirren never mentions Hattie at all. Exactly. So maybe Deckard's just pretending that's his sister.
Well, and again, not to get too in the weeds here, but the actor, Vanessa Kirby, was born in 1988. Helen Mirren was born in 1945. So she would have been, what, 40? Like
43? I mean, that's doable.
It's doable, but we're stretching.
They said 70 in this movie when she's in jail.
I mean, look, we know that math and ages is not this franchise's forte.
They don't care.
But what if they do, guys? What if it's all in front of you and it's some weird, twisted, sick puppy kind of thing going on, and we've all just accepted it for the past 22 years?
So you're positing that Deckard and Hattie are actually lovers?
I don't know what I'm positing. Maybe she's a stolen baby. Maybe they're not siblings.
Oh, stolen baby. I like that a lot.
Whoa, what if she's the baby on the oh no, that's baby babe. We know exactly who that baby is.
I like that too, Joey, though. We were doing pretty good there. That was a good jump. I was thinking more like Deckard and Hattie had a relationship. He introduced her to his mom and she adopted her as her daughter. But really, it's just his ex-girlfriend.
Ooh, that's twisted. I like that.
And he could still be protective of her for multiple reasons, right? That she's like a member of the family, but she's also like an ex-girlfriend. He doesn't want to see, either selfishly or whatever, doesn't want to see her happy.
Yeah, or an adopted child. They like knew each other.
It could be a step sibling type of situation.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah, then we get really close to horniness, right?
Yeah, we call that line with horniness.
I've seen that movie before.
And is it something you can rent at a regular video store, or do you?
No, you can just watch it online. You can just watch it online.
So, Kate, what do you love? So you love Samoa. What do you hate about Hobbs and Shaw?
Oh, I get to talk shit about my favorite shit-talking subject. I cannot fucking stand Ryan Reynolds. I have hated that motherfucker since the very beginning. I want to slap the smarm off his face.
Mm-hmm.
I hate him. It genuinely started to ruin the movie for me when I saw it in the theaters. I'm like, I didn't think this motherfucker was going to be there.
I don't hate Ryan Reynolds, but we watch a lot of like Welcome to Wrexham because I think the premise is pretty cool. And I've had this like experience with Ryan Reynolds where I think that he is constantly playing a character and never a real person.
Correct.
And the character is Deadpool.
Correct. And
do you feel this too? It's just fake.
Yes.
Like he just seems like he's never had a real emotion.
It's so fake. And the worst part is that he thinks he's nailing it. And unfortunately for a lot of people, he is. He is dead inside. I am convinced.
Yeah, like a lot of his reactions, it's like Wrexham that really did it for me. That like a lot of his reactions to things, he's like, "Oh man," and it's like it feels both alien and robotic.
Yes.
But it also is just no. I think it's really him. Just like he just like plays a character in real life, and then like every couple episodes in Wrexham, at least, you would see him break and would be like, "Is that really like?" He would actually be upset about something, and you'd be like, "Oh." Is that really him for like 3 milliseconds? And then he just like reboots and goes back to being Deadpool again.
Like Tom Cruise. He's exactly like Tom Cruise, is that he has concocted this like skin suit to cover his like full person persona. And then every once in a while you see it crack. You're like, holy shit, that's the real person. And then, like you said, he reboots and he's back. And the majority of people find him charming. And he just makes my skin crawl. I cannot stand him.
I don't hate him, but like I can relate on the other part of the feeling like there's something off. There's a little like something just a hair tinge off for sure.
The only thing I like him in is that one X-Files episode where those girls kill him.
Oh, Syzygy. Kate, that is one of my favorite episodes. I love that episode so much.
Yep. I mean,
he's barely in the episode, but it's a high school cheerleader, mind control, evil girl. Man, it's so good.
Hate him. Wouldn't want to date him.
Mm-hmm.
So good.
That's also the episode that has like the sure, fine, whatever. Like Mulder or Scully gets really pissy at Mulder. Man, it's so good. I love that. I love that episode so much.
The only good thing he's ever done, that and probably Blade 3, because his bullshit actually added to Blade 3.
Ooh, okay. Interesting. I think he people love Wrexham. I think, Joe, you mentioned Wrexham. Like he does good things. It's just there's the oversaturation, right? Where it's just like he's too many places. Like he's this kind of like he's always himself, and he always pops up in this kind of thing. Like he's in Ghosted, he's in The Bullet Train. Like he keeps popping
Mint Mobile commercials
as Deadpool, right? It just he also like owns Mint Mobile or whatever, right? Like
exactly. Yeah.
Actually, on that note, this is something we've complained about for a long time in this movie.
Okay.
Which is that, like, they talk about, like, Game of Thrones a lot. They reference all this pop culture. Like, it just feels dated in a way that feels yucky. One that, Joe, I don't think we've ever talked about here is when they're on that plane, Hobbs says to Shaw something about, like, I can't believe you didn't get, like, extra leg room. We don't have hobbit legs like you. And, like, that feels better to me because it's more of, like, a timeless thing.
Timeless.
Yeah.
But also, it's another big pop culture reference. You could just say little legs.
The hobbit legs, but I said, "What are you, a hobbit?" to Kate when she said she takes first sleep and second sleep. Like that's not. I think it's timeless. That one doesn't bother me.
No, but I get what Joey's saying though. It's
the oversaturation.
Well, it's a shortcut, really, right? So rather than write interesting, good dialogue, how people actually would engage, you use pop culture references to do all the shortcuts there.
But we get it again in 9 when we get 50 references to fucking Yoda and Star Wars, right? Like, Cypher says, like, 15 Star Wars references in the next movie.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So maybe they're just, like, leaning into, like, IP or something. I don't know.
Because there's also the other thing that I don't think we've talked about, but, like, because there's the joke that, like, dwarfs the other jokes, but when they have their alternate identities, their alter egos to get on that plane, right? And Shaw names Hobbs Mike Oxmall, and he gets detained, right? Like... Shaw's name, do either of you remember Shaw's name?
No, what is it?
Franz Gruber, which is just Hans Gruber from Die Hard, but like with an FR. But it's just like, that's another reference. Like, that's a thing where it just feels, like Kate, you said shortcut, it just feels like lazy. It just feels like, this is a thing that people are going to laugh at, because it's not, like the Mike Oxmall thing is like, it's a Simpsons joke. It's like Mike Roch, anybody seen Mike Roch? Like,
yes.
That's that thing, but like, at least that's like clever and not just like they're going to laugh because of Game of Thrones. People love Game of Thrones.
If you notice, too, all of these references you guys are bringing up are also franchise references, that nothing gets to stand on its own anymore. Like, how many Die Hard movies are there at this point?
Oh yeah, that's true. I just blocked out the rest of the Die Hard. Like Die Hard is just Die Hard.
Oh, I like Die Hard 2, Die Harder though. That one's pretty.
Oh, Kate, I love it. That's my second favorite Die Hard movie.
And then the third one, honestly, as long as you just stop at the last act, it's not bad.
I don't think it feels like a Die Hard movie. I wrote a whole Die Hard dissertation because I got into a fight at a 4th of July barbecue about, not a fight, but 15 years ago. I'm just like, Die Hard 3 is not a Die Hard movie. And I wrote this whole long thing because I think Die Hard, whatever. We're not going to get into it, but I think Die Hard 2 is better than Die Hard 3. People love 3. I'm not crazy about 3.
3 is a good, decent mid-90s action movie, and you won't convince me otherwise. But if you would make the case that it's not a Die Hard movie, I probably wouldn't push you too hard on that.
Well, also, it wasn't going to be a Die Hard movie. They adapted it to fit John McClane. It was going to be some other kind of standalone movie, I think called Simon Says, and they're just like, we need a Die Hard movie. Like, oh, can you use the script? Whatever. Anyway, on topic again. Other than Hattie in this movie and Letty in 7 fighting against Ronda Rousey, are there other fight scenes in this franchise where a woman wears a dress?
Oh.
Physical.
So I was like, are there any others? And famously, iconically, Letty in that red dress fighting Ronda Rousey, in that building thing.
Yeah.
But is there any other scene in any other movie where a woman, there's the fight scene in the London subway in the Underground in 6? I think they're just wearing jeans.
It's just because all these women are so tactical.
Mm-hmm.
Wait, what about in 2? Does Eva Mendes ever fight anyone? I don't remember.
She's wearing Miami clothes. I don't think she ever even has a dress on, really. She doesn't fight anyone, 1.
Okay.
But 2, I don't think she's ever actually wearing a dress. She's always looking good. Bikini, yes. Flowy pants, yes, but never a dress. Which now feels weird that you said that.
Right? Miami clothes would also be short little mini dresses.
What does she wear? She wears something so goofy in the nightclub, Joey. Remember? It's just oh, it's some weird sweater, but
I could open up the movie, I could open up the minute, but I'm going to go to the minute document. We're going to find out what she wears.
Yeah. It's something really goofy when they get to the nightclub, for sure. The Pearl is the name of the nightclub.
The Pearl.
This is just so impressive. You guys have done this so many times,
Yeah. Pearl at midnight. Clothing. Silver silk dress down to her mid-calf, lacy black bra prominently featured.
She wears the bra over the dress. That's what it
her
is.
Face,
yes.
Long silver earrings. Yeah, the bra is sticking out the top of the dress, very
No, it's over it. It's fully over it or something weird. There's something very strange about that. My brain is remembering that there's something very strange about this outfit.
Minute 56, the hired help. Trivia question for that minute, Joe. When Monica shows up at the Pearl to talk to Brian and Roman leaves the conversation. Where does he say he's going? A, to flirt with a girl. B, to get a drink. C, to get a pen. Or D, to the bathroom.
To get a drink?
To the bathroom.
Ugh.
He has no game.
We are going to fail his quiz so hard.
Yeah, we're doomed. We're so doomed.
Kate, other thoughts about Hobbs and Shaw? Other moments, other scenes, other characters that you love, hate, feel somewhere in between too?
It's always more fun when someone really loves something, and I would love to meet the person who loves Hobbs and Shaw because you have interesting taste. But it's such a waste of Idris Elba, who is very much a handsome, bald man like Jason Statham and Dwayne Johnson, The Rock. So why did they waste him? Why did they not use him in every scene? Why did he wear so many clothes, guys? Answer me that.
Yeah, he's not shirtless enough, right?
Yeah.
He should be naked half the time.
Oh my God. Absolutely. That is Idris Elba. That is one of the most beautiful men in the world. And you're just he's a cyborg. Whatever.
Speaking of Idris Elba, I would like to start a conversation that is long overdue.
Okay.
Does Hobbs and Shaw have the best soundtrack of any Fast and the Furious movie?
Yeah, I think so.
It's just bangers, right? Yeah. It's incredible. Every time I watch this movie, I forget that it's just hit. It's not hits, pop hits, but just the soundtrack just fits the movie, fits the tone, fits the scenes that they're shooting. It's everything about it. I'm like, God, you guys did really great with the music in this one.
Well, the thing about the movie is it's overly polished. It's just like a stone that got overshined, and now there's no imperfections to sort of glom onto, pay attention to, and love. So that's really my problem with this movie. It's just too perfect. It's too Ryan Reynoldsy,
Okay, fair. Joey, what do you think? Is there a better Fast and the Furious soundtrack?
In F9 where Dom and Jacob race, and there's that remix of the Prodigy song. I think the newer movies just like use cooler music.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, Tokyo Drift is going to be the answer, though.
No, that's what like at this point. I think that Tokyo Drift, like, I have such a deep love for the Tokyo Drift soundtrack, and like this one might overtake it. Like, I don't know if it's just because I listened to the Tokyo Drift one so much and seen it so many times, but like every time I hear this one, I remember playing this soundtrack. I don't know anything that's on the Fast 10 soundtrack. I don't know, besides the awesome remix that you mentioned in 9. I don't remember any of the songs from F9, but like I remember all the songs from Hobbs and Shaw, and I'm like, these are bangers every time they come on.
Wait, I just remembered. I have to disagree with you because of 7.
Why?
Because of 7 was Khalifa. See You Again.
Yeah, but that's one. I'm saying grand picture. All of them.
But it's just that one song is such a banger, and it's one of my go-to drunk girl songs that like I have to represent it. I have to.
Have you ever sang it at karaoke?
Of course I have. And then I faked crying, and then people are like,
"You faked cried?
Oh God,
during the performance?
Oh, I can't sing. If I'm going to do karaoke, I have to put on a performance. Yeah.
Okay. Where was this at? Can you give me a place and setting?
Wait, Kate,
can I
do you
fit the
remember
scene?
what your karaoke song would have been? We asked you that question, like if you have the Distractor Room a cappella style, what song you sing? Do you remember what song I want to see if it's the same song that you picked when we talked to you years ago about Fury 7.
So what my go-to karaoke song in terms of Fast and Furious, or just in general?
No, just life. Just life.
Oh, I always do like It's a Virgin by Madonna.
Yep, that's the one.
yeah.
And then there's the other one I love to do, but nobody knows it. It's called I've Never Been to Me by Charlene. That's my favorite.
But tell me what this fucking See You Again karaoke scene was like. Was it like karaoke in a small room, like with a couple people, or was it like you were like drunk at a bar and it's like 100 people and you're just like doing See You Again?
Both. In fact, both. And I always end on the floor, like I'm racked with sobs.
Okay.
There's
an acting component.
Oh God,
beyond the crying.
I've seen my karaoke go on YouTube before, and I did not upload it, but that was my angry rendition of Put a Ring on It. Like an angry, jilted ex-girlfriend screaming, "If you like it, then you should have put a ring on it." And that was at a gay club in England. Yes, I don't know if it's still, because that would have been like 2010, 2011. But during that era, it was definitely on YouTube. Someone's like, "Crazy girl at I forget the name of that club, the Vault or whatever."
Amazing.
That's incredible.
Amazing.
That's. I'm so glad I pressed harder, because that was the story that I wanted. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Kate, other thoughts about Hobbs and Shaw? Anything else to share?
I mean, let me turn that around on you guys. What is the most interesting thing somebody has ever brought up about this movie, which I don't particularly find too compelling?
I don't know. We've talked about it so much. Like, everything's just in my brain.
Have you guys ever met like a super Hobbs and Shaw fan that's like, no, this is
no.
bummer?
Well, let's see here. I want to see here that in terms of the rankings, if we look Hobbs and Shaw, Joe, at one point you had this, I mean, the last time you had rankings, you had this number 5.
I think it's a lot of fun. That's why I like it. And I think it's like a breath of fresh air. I like that it cuts in this place in our order. And I love the soundtrack. So, like, I actually think this is a pretty fun movie. But I don't like...
Kara has this as number 2. Kevo has this as number 1. Heather Antos has this as number 2. But she's new different. It feels like, honestly, a lot of the people who have this really high are people who have no nostalgia for the franchise. That they are all... Those last 3 people all watch all the movies with us. And they all like this movie more than most other Fast and Furious movies. So
because I saw the original in the theater the weekend it came out in 2001.
Mm-hmm.
That's incredible.
So I want to ask, are these people younger? Are they almost as old as the franchise? Are they?
No, they're mid-30s, mid-late 30s. They're age appropriate for the franchise. They just love the feel of this.
Wow.
And I remember like Kara really likes Vanessa Kirby. Like they like a lot of the cast in it. You mentioned you like Idris, like those kind of things.
I need you guys to understand. I was writing for another site at the time, and I probably wrote 5 articles leading up to Hobbs and Shaw, and I was talking about how this is my Avengers Endgame, or I forget what I used at the time. My expectations were so high. I fucking love The Rock. I love The Rock. And I love his bad movies. So
I would say that mentality is going out of style too.
What do you mean?
People don't seem to love The Rock anymore.
I am ride or die for I will watch everything.
Did you watch Young Rock, Kate?
I didn't watch that, actually.
Oh, you should.
That's really good.
You should. Yeah, it's really cute and wholesome, and it's like quick. The episodes are 20 minutes long. You can just blast through it. It's really, really fast.
Like, I need you guys to understand, I'm one of the few people who bought San Andreas on streaming, and I still watch it at least once or twice a year.
That's awesome.
I just bought for $8 on Black Friday Skyscraper in 4K.
That's a good movie. That's actually better than Rampage, which came out about the same time.
I did like Rampage too. I liked Rampage as well. Yeah.
Rampage was solid. Skyscraper was surprisingly good, though. Plus, I love me Neve Campbell. Love her. Yep, bring Neve Campbell into this franchise, and I mean, I'm going to be there opening weekend regardless, but I'll be there happily opening weekend.
Oh, was it Scream? There was some franchise I think, oh, this is a Universal franchise. I'm like, we should cross over. I know that, like, I rewatched Happy Death Day.
Dom is Ghostface, and that's how he murders his whole family.
That'd be very good.
But then, no, here's my only problem with that. Then it spins off a whole new franchise of where Dom is just killing other families every movie.
Oh, he kills other franchises? I kind of want to see that.
Look,
that sounds really good.
Spyglass just fired Melissa Barrera, and then Jenna Ortega coincidentally left due to shooting issues, or also because, like, you know, they just fired somebody that she loves working with. So we need new people in the Scream franchise. Let's cross it over with, like, Fast and Furious presents Ghostface.
Okay, so then to piggyback off that, who would be the final girl out of this new franchise?
Hattie Shaw.
I agree with that. Yeah. But you know what we'd have to do? We'd have to kill Helen Mirren in the very beginning. Because you have to have a big...
No. You know what you do? You stunt cast Papa Shaw.
Oh, and then Papa Shaw. I got confused for Daddy Diesel. I thought we were going to do a flashback where he didn't actually die in the wreck.
No, because we don't know who Papa Shaw is. We've had all these different theories. You know, Joe had a theory recently that is just straight up Mick Jagger as Mick Jagger.
Yes, yeah.
But you have a really famous guy, and he's like on his way home to his family or whatever, kind of like a Cotton Weary thing in Scream 3. But we see him getting home, and he gets killed. You're like, oh, Michael Caine's in this movie, and then like he gets killed, and he like, you know, Helen Mirren opens the door and just like, oh no, my husband, and it cuts to Fast and Furious presents Scream or Ghostface or whatever.
I'm down for that, but only if we can stunt cast Timothée Chalamet in aged up makeup for that, because that would be ridiculous.
Timothée Chalamet as Papa Shaw?
Yeah, wouldn't that be stupid?
I mean, if he can Wonka, he can Papa Shaw.
He's like but they need to have like a tender Helen Mirren, Timothée Chalamet makeout scene, like right before he gets murdered in the makeup, in the full old man makeup. That's
a lot of tongue, with a lot of tongue,
like honestly? Face licking, and it doesn't. But we screen it, but we don't tell anybody what it is, and then like the tongue licking, then that cuts. Like, we get, like, that, and that goes into the title card, and it's, like, ghost face, but Timothée Chalamet's tongue is on Helen Mirren's face.
His tongue becomes the knife for Fast and Furious Scream Edition.
I love all of this. This is why we should be in charge of Hollywood.
If we were in charge of Hollywood, there would be a million Con Air sequels.
If you were in charge of
Hollywood. Do you really want, I mean, I know it's your favorite movie, but do you want a Con Air sequel? Like, what if it's bad?
Do you not know I've already scoped this out, and it would be a crossover with the Has Fallen series called Hummingbird Has Fallen?
Oh, you know, I know. I've heard you talk about this.
Yeah.
You talked about this on Mark Hoffmeyer's podcast, right? Did you talk about this on Con Air the podcast?
Probably did. I bring it up all I can. You never know when the right coked out Hollywood executive, you're going to get them on the right bender.
Yes.
Yes. That's the idea.
But make it horny.
Oh, well, duh. Everything needs... Guys, I'm on a one-woman crusade to make movies horny again. Truly. Like, I am so sick of all these PG-13 action movies. Give me some tit shots. And I am straight as they come. But if you see boobs in the first 5 minutes of a TV show or movie, you know you're going to...
Incredible. I've made this case for so long, and I can't say it any longer because I'm a man, and that's not allowed anymore. But I agree with you, Kate, 100%. Movies need a boob shot. All of them.
In the first 5 minutes. In the first 5 minutes. Because then
it brings you in.
Like,
yes,
it
sets the tone.
It does. It lets you know this is a horny movie for adults. It's not for 8-year-olds, and it's not for a foreign market. This is for.
I'm sick of pandering to children. Is what this really comes down to, Kate. Same. That's what I'm fucking sick of.
Same.
Put the boobs in the beginning. Go to bed. This is for me.
Exactly. And the thing is that they're also worried. They all are so convinced that they're finally going to have the big hit in China. They play to the Chinese like film censors as well.
Yeah, fuck that too. No way.
I judge. So I love to have a horny show I'm always watching, and you can judge a horny show by if someone's going to get their tits out in the first 5 minutes. Then you know it's going to be violent, it's going to be fun, and you're going to have a good time.
I agree 100%.
So well said. One other thing that we're doing, Kate, all lap long, because this is our planes, trains, but no automobiles lap. We also just covered planes, trains, and automobiles for our Thanksgiving episode.
Love that.
But we are making note of all of the all the vehicles in these movies that are not cars. So, Joe, do you want to run through because there's
yes, I got a bunch.
I
got a whole bunch.
In this movie.
Hit me.
Starts helicopter.
Yep.
The Idris Elba electric motorcycle.
I call it the future motorcycle, but yep. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Double-decker buses, which was my favorite. There's a pizza delivery moped behind Hattie while they're fighting.
Love it.
Oh, I'm going to save the fun ones for last. We got bikes in a bike rack as they're doing the chase.
Of course.
Mm-hmm.
Plane, they're on the plane.
Yep.
Like a normal commercial airline.
Yes.
Then we get a fighter jet.
Mm-hmm.
The dune buggy thingies.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, at this point in the movie, I'm just like, I don't know, military vehicles? It's just that kind
they're
of
kind of a dune buggy thing, but they're electric. Really. They're electric, like maybe like a really intense golf cart. Then we have the drones, which we always teeter back and forth on.
Yep.
The Rock is driving that weird flatbed kind of truck thing that isn't normal.
That Deckard drives his dune buggy thing onto.
Yes, that. Then we get the customs, like the chopped semi mini Peterbilt thing. Brixton's in the tactical helicopter, which I distinguished separately. And now I have two that I would like to ask you guys if you consider a vehicle.
Before we get to the questionable ones, also when we get to Samwa, there's Jonah's. We already covered motorcycles, but there's more motorcycles in the chop shop. There's also outside, there's farm industrial equipment, kind of like Caterpillar style things.
Yes,
might be broken down, might not be active, but they also still exist in this world.
Yes.
But I have two that I'm like, and I think the answer is probably no, but I have two that are questionable as well. So please hit us. And Kate, you can be the judge. You can be Judge Kate Hudson over here.
I'm ready.
Do these count as a vehicle?
Okay,
my first one is Brixton a vehicle?
Is Brixton a vehicle?
Because he's half mechanical. So we said mode of conveyance, but he's being propelled by a mechanical mechanism. Is he a vehicle?
I don't think so, because it's his meat bag that is powering the mechanical.
Is it?
Yeah, because he was meat.
How do we know he doesn't charge at night or be like Iron Man and have a core?
Because I think that the meat bag came first, and that if you replace enough of your meat parts with robot parts, you're not a vehicle. You're a cyborg. Sorry.
Okay. It's okay. I was just trying to feeling it out. Joey, do you have one?
No, I want to hear your other one. Then I have two.
I have, and these kind of go hand in. It's a twofer, but it kind of goes hand in hand. Is the elevator a vehicle?
That's one of mine. The runaway elevator, specifically a runaway elevator.
If it's it has to be. If it's a runaway elevator,
Deckard basically tears off the brakes, the emergency brakes on the thing, and it just it shoots straight down. He's no longer in control of it. It's no longer functioning as a typical elevator. It's being hurtled down with gravity, which our conversation with Walt suggests maybe not, right? But maybe.
A hang glider could be a vehicle, right? And that's gravity.
But a hang glider is within your control. I'm going not vehicle, because I think a vehicle means it has to be under some form of outside control, outside of its own, what's the word? Not gravity, but inertia.
Okay, fair. That's a good point. Now, in the same sense, is repelling
No, I don't think so. Like that would just be like a harness, right? Like because the repelling is not a vehicle, but like the harness would be the vehicle.
Okay.
And gravity is doing the work with repelling.
As well, yeah. Joey, what are yours?
Well, I had runaway elevator. My other one was, it was close to your first one, but the wall climbing, gravity defying boots. Like Brixton is running vertically down the side of a building.
Yeah.
Is that a vehicle?
Because I would just consider those like gravity rollerblades, right? That's close.
It's close, but I don't think it is either. I guess here's how I'm defining a vehicle. It has to be powered.
Please give me your definition. Yes.
I think it has to be powered within something's control outside of its own inertia.
Okay.
And it has to be fueled by something as well. It has to have fuel and it has to be powered.
Skateboards don't count for you, Kate?
Shit.
It's tough, right?
Yeah, we've been in this conundrum for the whole
every single episode.
Because I would say, listen, you can get a Dewey on a skateboard, so I feel like at least legally it is classified as a vehicle.
Ah, that's a good point. Oh, that's a good point. Can you get a DUI on it?
Well, is it D?
Like
is it technically D? Are you driving?
Yeah.
Yeah, you can get a Dewey on a bicycle.
You can get a Dewey on a horse.
Yeah, you can. Yeah.
For the record, I've never gotten one, and I would never put myself in that situation, just in case anyone was wondering.
Okay, fair.
We're not condoning drunk driving, but I like this as a definition of vehicle.
We are condoning drunk horsing.
Yes.
It would hurt. I don't condone that. You could die, man.
Yeah, horses aren't.
They're high. Like a pony, maybe. A horse, no. Listen, I was a carny. I used to have to deal with ponies and horses. Like,
I just mentioned you to someone and said about your carnyism, and they were very confused, and I was like, that's exactly what Kate would want you to feel.
Have you ever called it your carny asada?
No, but that's clever.
Do either of you have any more thoughts about Hobbs and Shaw before we play a game?
No, when Vanessa Kirby's getting the, like, when she's like strapped to that like thing, you know, and they're like, oh, you're like, it looks like a giant iPhone. If you pay attention to it, it's just like very rounded and flat. It looks like an iPhone 13 or 12, whatever one was before. It's like it's curved edges.
You mean like at the end when they're in Samoa?
No, like when they're at Etion and she's like strapped in the room.
Okay.
Yeah, it just like strangely. I was like, why is Vanessa Kirby on a giant iPhone right now? But that was my last note.
Cool. Kate, any other thoughts about Hobbs and Shaw?
No, I guess the last thought I would have is I would love truly to meet the people out there who this is their favorite movie, because maybe I can grab some of that magic you have for it and I can love it more.
That
makes sense. That's a good point. Sweet. Yeah.
Like I like that you want to love this movie. You just don't yet.
I do, and maybe I need to watch it like 10 times as opposed to 5. You know?
Sure.
To be clear, I still watch it. It's not, I watch this movie because, again, love The Rock, love Statham. But yeah, it lacks that zhuzh for me.
Some dare say this was your Avengers Endgame.
That was me who said that.
I know, some meaning you. You told us not that long ago.
And he remembered.
All right, we're going to play This Ain't No 10-Second Race, a.k.a. Boy Do We Have a Podcast for You.
Boy, do we have a podcast for you. Come and check out our show. Yeah. So
this is where we go on the app formerly known as Twitter.com, formerly known as the Bird app. Last time we did the episode of The Fate of Furious, we did not because we were running long. We did not play the game with Josh and the rest. So we are going to first review our picks from 2 times ago, which is the last time we played this, but Furious 7, where we had Matt Delhauer on. Joe, you played 2, including 1 for charity. I have not looked at these yet. We're going to find out who said what. So I found Laser Weber at Laser the Boy. I'm watching the second Fast and Furious movie, and after watching Fast 10, well, I'll say it, it's slower and considerably less angry. There aren't even supervillains. The cars don't even fly. People got excited about a helicopter. Call me when you're a Megazord. And we said, a Megazord, now you're talking. Boy, do we have a podcast for you. And then we even responded to the tweet and said, also, they fly a car into a yacht from Too Fast. It got 3 likes, but...
What?
2 of them are bots, and 1 of them, it's not listed. So we can safe to say it's 3 bots. So that they don't count. And I know that they're bots because it's like Jessica Smith 81053, Rachel Ortiz 47922.
Joey, first of all, Mr. Tweet got rid of all the spam accounts. He told you.
Mm-hmm.
So those are real people, and those points count.
So I get 2 points. Are you really giving me 2 points?
No, absolutely
No, I didn't
not.
think so.
Wait,
Okay.
guys, I forgot that you don't give points to private accounts because do you see when I like? I'm a private account now.
If we follow you, we see it pop
count.
up.
Oh, okay.
But we don't
Okay.
count it either.
Yeah, no, it has to be somebody like people we know who their account, we don't count them. It has to be people like, it's generally people like real people, whatever. Yeah.
Like strangers.
It's rule of thumb.
strangers liking, yeah, just generally. Because I could go there and just like all mine or like get Rachel to like all of mine and be like, go like that one. Like that doesn't count.
Now, Kate, what you could do is you can like the tweet that we send as you to like bump up another notification for the person and like encourage them to like it. Like that's, not against the rules, just like it's not against the rules that a
You
dog
could
can play
campaign
basketball.
if you want. Yeah, exactly.
I don't think I've ever gotten any likes on this.
Well, you've only played once and you got 1 point, Kate. You got 1 point.
Oh, okay, never mind.
Which honestly is...
You're on the board, which is pretty decent, to be honest.
Joe, you found Skater Hater at Skater Hater XX. Saw is like Fast and Furious for horror movies. Both are epic and awesome. And we said, as fans of both, we couldn't agree more. Which do you think would be Jigsaw? Dom or Mr. Nobody? Boy, do we have a podcast for you. It got a like from Skater Hater. 1 point to Joe.
Thank you. On the board today. Can you cue up that good ding 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 music for me, please?
Well, you get a ding. I put a ding in there. You're up to
Thank you.
80 points on the season. The season is, 6 years of this podcast or whatever.
Yeah, Kate. So put into context, I play this game all the time.
Mm-hmm.
I have 80 points in 6 years. You played it once and you have 1 point. I think you're doing great.
Also, Joe's 80 points have come from two 10-point things and then a bunch of ones, right?
Wow.
So it's just
yeah. So it's hard.
Joe, you played for charity. We found the Xmas Chainsaw Massacre, which I think was a Halloween thing back when we did this forever ago, at Final Dude 70. I genuinely don't, this was so long ago that I don't remember these tweets even a little bit. Never feel ashamed of loving a horror movie others think, yeah, these are definitely all this is from July too. Never feel ashamed of loving a horror movie. Oh, we sent these on October 4th. Jesus, okay. This was a while ago. Never feel ashamed of loving a horror movie others think is terrible. There are actual people existing in the world whose favorite movie franchise is the Fast and Furious.
What?
We said, yes, Shane, there's literally dozens of us. Boy, do we have a podcast for you. It got 1 like from Shane. So Charity gets a point.
Gets a point. Charity community chest. There we go.
And then our guest that episode, Matt Delhauer, found Portia Boyd Chapman at Portia Boyd. I loved at Jason Momoa 6, which is not Jason Momoa on Twitter, in #FastX. The genie outfit, the scrunchie, the glasses on the chain like a grandma, painted nails, rings, and personality. He had me cracking up. And then a picture of Jason Momoa on the car in his purple peacocking outfit.
Yes.
And we said, if you can build this outfit out of what you already have in the closet into a Halloween costume, then boy, do we have a podcast for you. No interactions. Sorry, Matt. Swing the miss.
Sorry, man.
So my Twitter account is at Hudson Kate. So the other Kate Hudson does not have a Twitter. So before who ruined the site, I used to get tagged in all sorts of weird shit.
Oh, I'm sure.
But the best one, do you remember the chocolate rain guy, Tazon Day?
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Yes.
He followed me overnight one night, and I woke up to look at his account, and he had unfollowed me when he realized I was.
Oh, it wasn't Kate Hudson. Oh,
Yeah.
you terrible, terrible boy.
He did me dirty.
Joe, we'll start with you. You sent me a tweet on Facebook. Can you please read your tweet, who it's from, and how you want to respond?
My tweet's from Stens at StensSimpTM. Hobbs and Shaw soundtrack is an absolute banger, laughing my ass off.
LMAO.
Sten, we were just watching Hobbs and Shaw and had the exact same thoughts. It might be the best soundtrack in the Fast and the Furious franchise. Boy, do we have a podcast for you.
This tweet is from May 10th, 2021. Who knows if it's going to work, but You never know.
I just wanted to find anyone else that agreed with me that soundtrack is fucking fire. So that's what I was looking for today.
Well, Michelle Farley, past guest of the show, Justin Kleinman's friend, already liked the retweet. So there's another point in your not a point to you, but another point that like they're gonna get another notification on top of our like and retweet and sorry.
So they're gonna be like, why did somebody? I also I've been playing the game lately, but I really like digging up like a 2-year-old tweet. Mm-hmm. And hoping that it gets some traction from our fans. Just so somebody's like, what the fuck is happening?
Worked. I don't know if it's ever worked, but you never know.
Well, guess what? Guess how old my tweet is?
2009.
It's October 20th, 2021.
Ooh, okay, cool.
Okay.
Can you send it? Can you DM it to Too Fast, Too Forever after you read it? Oh, you put it in here. Chat. Okay, I got it. I got it. I'm good. Please hit us with your tweet.
Okay, this is from @Bonsai Brandon, and it has an image. I think the funniest thing about the Hobbs and Shaw film was that The Rock reads Nietzsche while chucking raw eggs. And it is an image of The Rock chucking raw eggs into a cup with a book of Nietzsche with a flower as his bookmark.
It's adorable.
I also, when he brought it, like I saw that this time watching it and I was like, and then I'm like, oh, they thought that was a really clever callback when he quotes Nietzsche later.
Oh, for sure.
He's flexing this. And this, and the eggs.
Yeah.
Kate, how do you want to respond to Bonsai Brandon?
I want to be real weird. So let's say...
Honestly, if we ever get to a point where like we get reported for this game and our Twitter accounts gets banned, I consider that an ultimate win for this game.
Yeah, I think we just pack it up. Mm-hmm. That's just it. That's like, yeah.
Like, I'm not I don't want to try for that, but like if it happens, it's a nice exit strategy.
Let's say.
I mean, we could do it really quick. Well, not anymore because Mr. Tweet made free speech legal again. But I was going to say we could probably do it pretty quick. I have some ideas. You wouldn't like them. Yeah, these are pretty good ideas. If we wanted to wrap this up, I got some shit that we could probably say to get us banned.
Mm-hmm.
I chug raw eggs with you and The Rock any day of the week while Nietzsche winky face.
Like it's like weirdly sexual. You made it horny. I like it. Your mission is accomplished.
Please tell me.
I would chug raw eggs with you any day of the week.
We'd chug raw eggs with you and The Rock while reading Nietzsche any day of the week. Winky face. Boy, do we have a podcast
for you. Yeah.
He's gonna be like, what?
Yeah, and it's a 2-year-old tweet.
Honestly,
that's gonna be so weird.
The
to wake
wink
up
is
to.
the creepy part.
Yes.
I put the wink in the tweet. It looks horrific. But I'm sending it.
I was going to say the too late to put a car emoji too.
Too late. Sorry, Kate. I can't resend this tweet. This tweet's already out into the world. All right. I found Ricky Valero at Ricky Valero _ and the tweet's fine, but I'm gonna explain why I picked this tweet. I'm beginning to wonder when Fast 11 will come out because I heard they're doing Hobbs and Shaw 2 before they begin filming Fast 11. With that, we are probably looking at maybe 2026 before Fast 11 ? I'm just like, we've had this kind of conversation before. His bio says Zac Efron Oscar campaign manager. So this is just a dude who's tweeting about Fast and Furious and who loves Zac Efron. And I'm like,
you found like so this person's definitely never responding.
No,
ever. Because we find people that are like, we love guys named Joe. We love Fast and the Furious, and we love podcasts. Mm-hmm. And we're like, it's for you. And they're like, no thanks.
My profile picture is Paddington 2. My handle is a Taylor Swift quote. And it's all about Spring Breakers. And it's just like, yeah, hello. And they're like,
nope. You're the fan.
This account has been deleted.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, they said something racist.
I'm saying we've tried to figure this out so many times and we have no idea either. The longer we wait, though, the sooner Zac Efron can replace Scott Eastwood as Little Nobody, though, right? Boy, do we
excellent
have a podcast for you.
Yeah, wait, give the drooling emoji, though.
I'm not doing the drooling emoji, Kate.
So sad that you want to get banned from Twitter. I'm just trying to help you.
Drooling emoji, peach emoji, clapping emoji.
Kate, thank you so much for giving us all these emojis and for joining us tonight in the podcast.
Play me out, keyboard cat.
Can you please tell us about Bravo Replay? It's out every Tuesday now, which is a wonderful day to release podcasts.
It is.
Yeah, you can listen to us and then go listen to Kate right afterwards.
Exactly.
You don't even have to listen to us. Just download our show.
I mean, same. Just go download Bravo Replay. Give us good reviews. If you don't like it, keep it to yourself. I don't want to hear it. And follow.
Fuck off. Fuck off if you don't like the show.
I mean, you can do what you want if you hate it. My ego is so fragile. I cannot take any sort of criticism. So keep that in mind.
I do like that with that in mind, you're like, I think a public forum for me to share my thoughts and opinions is a good idea.
I mean, I've been doing it for years on the internet.
I know.
And so,
Kate, you have some of like the most wonderful takes we've ever seen on the internet, and then sometimes Rachel reads me one of your tweets, and I'm like, "What the fuck is Kate talking about today?" Some of them I'm just like, "You are so off," and like, "Oh man."
I know, and I want you to know, I know when I'm off too. I do. I understand it.
Okay, you're self-aware enough to know that this is like a bad take, but it's something you believe in.
Oh, I know, but it's really funny to piss people off.
I was just hearkening back to the bagel tweet, and we just spiraled.
Oh, I've heard about the bagel tweet.
Yeah,
and I like a dry bagel. What can I say? I like the whisper of the hint of cream cheese. Like, why are they giving you inches of cream cheese on your bagel?
I was involved in this.
Yes, it was so bad. Joey got involved. That's how bad it was.
I don't interact with anybody on Twitter.
No.
Well, no, you're too busy sending them thirst treats about Zac Efron.
You know what? When you're right, you're right.
I'm going to go respond.
That's a good take.
I'm going to go respond to that tweet with the drooling emoji. Just 160 characters of drooling.
Kate, we're up to 240 characters now. You can do even more droolings.
Just copy and paste like Channing Tatum replying in those emails.
If you give Mr. Tweet $8, you can pretty much send an infinite amount of drools if you want.
Can you imagine?
Joe, our next episode, we are in December now, so happy December. We are in the month of, we've got a Christmas movie coming up that listeners to the show with good memories will remember exactly what Christmas movie we're doing this year. But before then...
Oh, yes, that's true. I forgot that we committed to that. Okay, yes, cool.
It's the movie that we thought we were watching last time that we were not watching. This one is probably going to be worse, but more of what we thought. But we'll get there when we get there. Between now and then, though, our next episode is a submarine movie, Crimson Tide from 1995. Tide. There were a lot of submarine movies that I could have picked for this lap, and I went with this one. I've never seen like any of them. Like I was thinking, K-19, The Widowmaker. There's a lot. Some of All Fear. Like there's not Some of All Fears. 100 Red October. Like there's a lot of submarine movies.
Like The Hunter Killer, Gerard Butler, 2018.
But I went with Crimson Tide. So hopefully that's a good one. Who knows?
You haven't seen it?
No.
Oh, it's good. Denzel.
Very, very cool. That's our next episode, Crimson Tide. Also, next week, there's going to be a new episode of Bravo Replay, so go check that out. But for all things Too Fast, Too Forever, go to cageclub.me, facebook.com/TooFastTooForever, or at TooFastTooForever on just about every platform. Email us, family@cageclub.me. Check out our Patreon page at TooFastTooForever.com, our store at cageclub.me/shop. We got a couple sales recently, which is very exciting. I don't know who's buying it, but thank you for buying it. And come back next week as we talk about Crimson Tide starring Denzel. I'm Joey Lewandowski.
I'm Joe, too.
And that was the host of Bravo Replay, Kate Hudson, and we will tell you all about it
when we see you